Hey guys, here we are in my backyard once again, looking at the black Dahlia. Chopped, top, dropped, shortened, going to be channeled, sectioned, whatever you want to call it. I've decided to put it back together, or let's just say I've decided to attempt to put it back together as a car. And I've reconfigured the top. I've shortened the car about 7 inches. The top, last time I showed you a video, I cut the top off. I lowered that 1 more inch. 1 more inch here and here. I've just got laying on these boards, but it's actually sloped down a little bit. This time, one thing I did different is I did cut this back window out. This back window, as you can see, it's just sitting there. I cut it out and I moved it forward, I'd say approximately 4.5 to 5 inches. And the whole idea, this was sitting right here and it ramped up. I moved it forward, I pushed it down in there at least 1 inch or more. So it shortens it a little bit and drops it down in there in the front. You can see that right there where I cut it off. Used to set here. So that's sitting down in there about 1 inch. It's just mocked up, but you can see the slope. That's the whole idea. You can see the slope. The car's shorter now. Top is lower and it slopes. That window, the window slanted forward a little bit, give it a little bit more of a 50s look, a little more stylish. Now next time you see this, it's going to be all tore apart again because I got to take these tops off and get those out of the way. I've got all kinds of wooden pieces that I've put here just to hold stuff in place. It's all screwed in, some bracing, whatever, but I got to get these tops off out of the way. This here part of the car is sitting on this wooden structure, and the back half of the car is still sitting on the frame with the rear end and everything. And just show you here, I've just got it all propped up on blocks and stuff like that. It's just sitting there. I've got to basically move this, and I've got that little wooden structure right there that's inside here. I basically got to tie in right here, go this way. I basically got to extend that structure all the way to the back, and I've got to lift this body up. I got to get that rear end, that metal frame out of there, and then I got to put this part of the body down on the wood. That way I can get everything level and straight and measure everything right, and then I got to get a whole lot of bracing done and start welding these, what used to be the doors, the rear doors. We're welding those in, going to weld them solid. Gonna put bracing in there, and this car is basically going to be a little bit shorter version of a Merc, and it's going to be a 2-door instead of a 4-door. Now, thing is, the 4-door, these doors right here are actually 10 inches shorter than the original 2-door doors would be. So if I didn't shorten the car, it would just be super long in the back. So I decided to do my own custom version. Shorten it up, chop the top, move it forward. So it's going to be a very unique little Merc. That's what I'm going to attempt to do. Now if I can't get that, if I can't pull that off, I can't make that look good, then I'll rip it all back off, and then I'll turn it into the truck that I was going to make, because the truck will be easier. It's just I like it as a chopped top car. So that's one of the projects I got going on. Over here I've started a new project. Some of you guys know what this is. Obviously it's a tailgate to a 1995 Mazda pickup. Starting to sand and body work on it. You can see we got some dents that we're working on. Got them all circled. And this was in 1995, so 30 years old. She's got some dents on her. This here's where the original stickers that said Mazda were at. I had to sand that down to bare metal. This here corner was bent in. I straightened that out. I got to put a little fiberglass on that, a little Bondo. This one right here was a big dent that I pushed out. That's where the tongue of a trailer got into it. And I discovered I have rust. I didn't think this truck had any rust on it, but it had some little pitting there, and I started pushing on it and it went through. So I'm basically going to cut out all the way over to here. I'm going to cut that out. I'm going to make a piece, weld in there, and then body work that. This is the first panel I've started working on in this truck, but I've decided I'm going to sand it, body work it, paint it. And let me see here. My plan right now is to paint it a version of that right there. And that, I don't know if you can tell what that is, but that is gunmetal gray metallic. And I like that, and I think that truck will look really nice, that color. That right there is just spray can paint. I'm actually going to paint it with automotive paint, but I want something similar to this, unless I change my mind. But for now, that's what I'm shooting for. So got that going on the back burner, and trying to get this Merc back together where it looks a little bit better. So I'm gonna, like you said, next time you see it, the top's gonna be completely off, the back end's gonna be pulled back. I've got to figure out a way to jack that back body up and get it off of that frame so that I can finish building my little frame jig and get it on there, so I can get everything lined up and square and try to get it back together. I got all these pieces, door frame pieces and everything I got to put back in, and I've got the skin for that door, but it's cut in two, so I'm going to have to weld that back together and get that in there. And then somewhere along the line, you know, we got these pieces here that's got to go in there. This is probably going to be more back here. I just don't know. So I got a lot of figuring out to do. So it's going to be a slow process. And this is going to go right there. And you can see I'm got it marked. I'm planning on rounding the corners. Another thing I'm planning on doing, and I want to show you this. I was going to take 2 inches out, and I decided to only take 1 for now because I don't want to get this car too low. I mean, that's, you're seeing that, I can't see real good, but that's pretty short window right there. Another thing that I'm planning on doing is where that post is right there. I'm not going to go straight up and down. My plans are to pie cut this here and do the same thing up there, and my plan is to slant the post. I think that'll make it look good. I've done it before and it does look better. Looks better than straight up and down. So anyways, guys, that's what's going on here. We're attempting to try to put her back together. Right now she's in the mock-up stage, but I like the look of it, and I'm going to attempt to put it back together. I figure, what the hell do I have to lose here? The car's so cut up, tore up, I can't really run it any farther than it is right now. From this point, the only way is up. You know, we got the dog fight going on here, but anyways, just want to show you what's going on here. Alright, thanks for watching.